Hello, and here we are again in Manchester, the UK's music capital, and we're on the hunt for another record store in a unique location, and Neil has dragged me to another Canal. What are you doing here?
I love canals, what can I say? I know. But yeah, this is another very special and unique record store.
So Neil, if you'd wanted to do a documentary on canals, why don't you just tell me?
4 locks good.
4 locks good? No! Oh, it's a freezing cold day.
Yeah, it's worth it though.
Why don't we just go for a coffee? Why do we have to walk around canals all the time?
Because I think we've got a special treat.
So we're in Castlefield, and that's steeped in history. Is this an opportune moment to give us a bit of a history lesson?
Well, there was a Roman settlement here in Castlefield, and there's supposedly ruins. I think what I like about Castlefield is it's the heart of Manchester's fascinating history of transport and power. The Museum of Science Industry is here, based on the site of the first passenger railway from Manchester to Liverpool that opened in 1830. This wonderful, intricate canal system. At the same time, in the background, we've got the development of the new Manchester, Manhattan, as they might call it, with these skyscrapers emerging everywhere. I like this juxtaposition of the old and the new in Manchester, and we're walking on some cobble streets now, looking at some of the city's latest glass-fronted developments.
You finished?
For now, yeah.
Do I need to wear a life jacket for this experience?
Optional. We want to obviously encourage health and safety, but yeah, you wouldn't be unwise to wear one. A few weeks ago, Gary and I walked the, I won't say the highway and byway, but we walked up and down the Rochdale Canal. So we found that we got loads more viewers and subscribers as a result of that. So I think these are canal obsessives. They're not here for the music, not here for the records or the people. They just love to see canals.
Do you know the word? It's a really amazing word.
No.
Gongoozler.
A gongoozler.
A gongoozler is gongoozler, yeah, is somebody who's, I don't want to say obsessed, but has a fascination with the canals and the canal network. So you can have that word.
Gongoozler. That's a great. We should have called a podcast the Gongoozler. Maybe we call it Gongoozler episode. Yeah. But here we are in the basin of the Bridgewater Canal, one of the oldest that was made here. I think it's James Brindley. Again, we know we do a bit of a history spill, don't we? James Brindley designed this canal network, and we're here in Castlefield in one of the most remarkable record stores I think anyone's going to find anywhere. And I'm here with Miles, who is the owner, creative genius behind this.
I wouldn't say genius. Creative captain, who's just rushed down, and everything's good on Rubber Ducky Records at the moment, and pleasure to have you here, boys.
Great, thanks. And creative captain, I love that. Now, Miles is no stranger to YouTube videos and podcasts and magazine interviews. So the challenge always is, can we explore anything slightly different here? I think we do have to start off a little bit, and it's not just why we're here in the Canal Basin on a barge with Rubber Ducky Records, but why open a record store anyway? Because it's a pretty precarious industry to get into. Yes. And in terms of making a living, it might not seem the first choice of many people.
Yes, so I've always had a passion for music. Naturally, that passion then turns into record collecting. I've been record collecting for over 10 years, my whole life. And I was working previously at a record store, and I just wanted to start something of my own. Having that experience, to be fair, meant that I was aware of the margins. So I was trying to think outside the box of ways of opening a business with little or low costs. And I was trying to think outside the box, and a canal boat seemed like a good idea. And in terms of running a business, after the initial investment, there is lowish running costs, which means I can put all the time and effort into curating really high quality electronic music, that's my passion, and that's how I seem to have made my reputation in the dance music community and clubbing community, and DJs, record collectors. I specialise in that genre and those genres within the electronic under that umbrella, and that seems to be a success. Really, it seems to be going very, very well. Touch as much.
There is a lot of wood, but
There is a lot of wood, and it's good on a boat to have wood. But touch wood, it seems to be going very well at the moment.
Yeah, and you always seem to be booked up. And if you want to come and visit it, you've got to book online.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, actually. So, unlike a traditional shop, I don't just have an open door policy. I have a booking system. It's free to book. There's no rules on booking. You can book for an hour. You can book for 4 hours if you feel like you want the time. I have 2 turntables, 2 listening stations. Both have a separate booking system. And it just means that if you book Friday, 12 o'clock till 1, as you boys have, you know you can enjoy the space. You can play all the music out loud. Headphones if you wish, but there's a really nice high-end hi-fi system on the boat. It's very acoustically ideal, small, narrow, wooden ceiling. Very nice place to listen to music. There's a fire, there's drinks, and you don't have to queue and wait to listen to the records like in other record shops. So it's kind of that, your limitations, which is obviously the size of the space, becomes one of your best attributes. So yeah, it's a booking system.
It is an amazing place to come and listen to music and buy it as well. It's not just that it's different. It feels warm. There is it's cold outside.
It's cold outside.
But there's a warmth to it. I mean, you're clearly sort of massively passionate about the records, but about the clientele and about making sure people can choose what they're going to enjoy as well. And that's a big part of it, because you can go into lots of record stores and it's a bit dismissive about, well, you've bought that, or it's just a commodity. And that's not what you get here at all.
Anybody is welcome to listen to anything. They're encouraged to listen to as much as possible. I always say to people, the longer they stay on the boat, the more music they'll find. I am confident they'll always find great records on here, because, again, with the capacity and the size of the space, I curate everything. So not every record. I don't buy big collections and put everything in the shop. There's only the better records, in my opinion, and obviously it's only opinion. It's music, it's art, but the better examples of a certain genre make it onto the boat. So it is ideally curated for somebody, yeah.
And you can look elsewhere to find the backstory of why you put it on a barge here. Yes. But I think that's fascinating as well. But I think the thing that's really interesting to us is, why you chose to focus on electronic dance music. Yeah. And then in a minute we'll get you to talk us through some of your collections as well. But why first though? This is a sort of genre.
That's my passion. That I've always been into dance music. I've always been into electronic music. So
what was the first record you bought then?
The first record I bought, I actually bought my. That's a good question. I bought my turntables when I was about 16, and they came with 50 records off a bloke in Bradford when I was like 16. And one of the first records was called Tanru Challenging, and it was Trellick, which is a label ran by Baby Ford. Really, really incredible, iconic British pioneer of dance music, and he's gone on to influence a hell of a lot of very good club music. But yeah, Tanru Challenging on Trellick. You've jogged my memory there, and I've somehow nailed that. But that was one of the first records that I fell in love with.
Yeah. And were you big clubber? I mean, you say you're from West Yorkshire.
Yeah. So I used to. I when I was old enough to be able to get into clubs, I was generally going to Leeds, which back in the day, I mean, I'm not that old, but at that time, Leeds was a real force in Europe.
Back to basics.
Yeah. So the garage, Mint Club, Mint Warehouse, which is actually one of the only clubs in Leeds still running and still going. It was just at the time was quite a real hotspot for dance music. So just naturally, you're just surrounded by great people. You fall in love with the community. You realise that dance music is such a an open place, you know. I feel like you can make friends with absolutely anybody on a dance floor. You could go into any venue, I feel, any venue and any nightclub, and you can make friends and amazing connections, and just I've just fell in love with it from day one.
And back that point about making connections, you alluded earlier to your sort of clientele. Who are they? Who are your typical customers or atypical customers? Who comes here?
I'll give you an example. So last weekend I had a most beautiful mix of customers, from girls buying one of the first records they've ever bought to put on whilst getting ready for a night out or cooking. I was like, what an amazing image that, you know, you're going to start cooking up some pasta, you're going to put on a nice record, listen to music. It's like brilliant. That's one of the reasons why we all love records, because you have that, you seem to just get more out of the music, don't you? Because it's, you know, I don't need to go into that. But yeah, I had a fantastic mix. And then I also had passing international DJs who were gigging and playing their first time ever in Manchester, which was so exciting for them. They brought their friends to take records back to Belgium. I had a French DJ who was headlining a massive club in Manchester, playing at the White Hotel. And then I also had up-and-coming DJs from Manchester, local lads, regular customers. There were customers that travelled over from Liverpool on the train, make a day out of it, come and explore this amazing city. And hopefully, I'm sure they all took home great pieces of music. So it's all smiles, really.
Yeah. And it's great that, as we talked earlier about, you know, you set off really small. It's quite niche. You've got to get your name out there, but it's great that obviously people do know about you and they're prepared to travel.
Yeah, and
well.
Do you know, even when I wasn't in Manchester and when I was in small towns like Hebden Bridge, Sogbridge, these small little Pennine towns in the middle of nowhere, people were coming from all over the north of England. I think even one of the things that resonated with me was very early on. I had a lad reach out to me who was coming from Korea for 7 days, coming into London, and was trying to work out the logistics of catching the train up from London. And it's like, how is it reaching these people, and how are they fascinated? And it's just, it's. I must admit, it seems to have gone far and wide. The shop and the brand name and the Rubber Ducky.
Yeah, it's incredible. And talking about going far and wide, obviously you do travel. You're not always based here. You said you were in Liverpool, fairly recently. This is a random question. Is it possible for someone to see you going down the canals, shout out, Miles, can I pop in? Are you a travelling record store as well?
I don't really do that, but I mean, listen, if I was travelling to Liverpool and somebody flagged me down like a taxi, I'm sure they'd have a great time.
Yeah, they would do.
Can they sail? Are they any good at locks? Because that would come in handy.
It is as well. If you've had their own horse, maybe as well, they could just take you along.
I told a customer actually that back in the day before engines, the canals used to be pulled by a horse, and he went, he's quite an intelligent bloke, I'm not going to name him, but he's a good friend and he's intelligent, so it blew my mind when he said this, and he went, what, they made the horses swim? And I was like, no, brother, no, on this towpath.
So, I think one of the things that really comes across with you, Miles, is just your passion for the music. It's just about selling it. You DJ, you can see that, but also you got your own labels as well, I believe.
I currently run 2 record labels. One is called On the Button, which I don't actually have any copies of because they've sold out. They've all sold out. They're sold out.
That's got to be a basic. Actually, have your own records to sell.
It's sold out, so I can't showcase that. And then I actually have another label called Game of Tunes, which I co-run with another record shop, which is in France. And that's we get producers to send in their unsigned tracks, and then we do a various artist release. So we've got 4 different producers on each release.
You got something that we can have a listen to?
Yes. Do you want the one? Do you want one of the forthcoming, or do you want the older?
We'll go the new stuff.
Yeah.
We're nothing if not contemporary.
So this is the forthcoming Game of Tunes 3. Right. It's a very nice place to listen to music here.
Sound system's brilliant.
I know. It's actually like the speakers are They're called Anthony Gallo Acoustics, and they're a British.
Yeah.
We do very well in the UK for hi-fi. It's one of our few very shining stars of our engineering. But yeah, they're called Anthony Gallo Acoustics, and they specialise in quite high-end, small space speakers. So they're very. And then I've got a subwoofer out the back of a car. But yes, because obviously everything's running on 12 volts.
This sounds really good.
And it's got a Marantz amp. The sound is good. Yeah.
I really like this.
Acoustically as well. Small space, lots of wood, lots of foam. Yeah. But yeah, so this is
Really like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's lovely. This side's a little bit more darker, it's a bit more darker, a bit spookier, but yeah, you get a nice mix on a various artist release. But I am hoping this year to do another label as well, which will be the actual Rubber Ducky Records. So that will be that's something that's I've had to be very patient with, because it needs to be special, you know. And I think I've got some special music on that one. So fingers crossed.
Amazing. Right, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to, thanks for sharing that forthcoming release with us. You want to just talk us through then
Yes.
what you've got here?
So we have new releases on this front racking. I have a rare and pricey box, which is just anything £30 and over. I just keep it separate because 95% of the shop is second hand, and it's fairly reasonably priced. But if I feel like if you come across a £50-60 expensive gem, everyone will listen to it out of curiosity, which is they're more than welcome to. But I just keep it separate.
They've got to buy it.
They don't have to buy it. I just keep it separate. We have house music in here. That can be deep house. There's a lot of really amazing 90s and early 2000s house in here. This is tech house, which is a really popular genre because it's very playable for DJs. This is electro, breaks and acid. Then we have trance and progressive house. We have techno, which is obviously such a huge genre. And then there's two other boxes. And the other boxes are the sort of more niche, maybe more fringe music. So this is, I call it the harder box. So this is jungle, drum and bass, hard house, hard techno. This is just anything fast, anything hard.
Yeah.
Anything maybe abrasive. And then this is the softer, easy listening, down tempo, experimental, IDM, hip hop, disco, anything softer.
That's the Gary and Neil box, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
That's the downtime. That's downtime. That's peak time, and everything else is its own own box. But yeah, anyone is welcome to listen to absolutely anything. And again, with the booking system, they know I've got an hour or I've got 2 hours. I've either got the whole space or I've, booked. Yeah, and hopefully it's a nice experience for everybody.
Oh, it is. I mean, I was just blown away by it. The last question though is, can't see a copy of Rod Stewart Sailing anywhere.
I don't have Rod Stewart on here. As much as I love him and as much as my mum loves him, she's a huge fan.
I think you missed a trick there, definitely. So it's been great to see you, Miles, and just we feel really privileged to be able to come in here and share this with you. And we're now going to go and do a bit of crate digging and pick out something for ourselves as well. Thanks a lot. Great, thanks a lot, and all the best with it.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, cheers.
amazing morning.
Yes.
We visited the first and one and only floating record store, Rubber Ducky Records, and I thought it was amazing. And I don't want to dwell too much on its unique location, because I think its selection of records and vinyls, the thing about it for me, and the knowledge that Miles had and his passion for the shop was amazing.
Yeah, and you're right there. Actually, it's about the catalogue that he had there, how he'd acquired it, and he's creating his own, isn't he? Because he's got his own label.
Yeah.
That marked it out has been so different from any of the other stores we've been to, and we've been lucky. We've been to some brilliant record stores, haven't we, whilst doing this? And
we have. Yeah.
Met some lovely people who are really enthusiastic, but decent, and just love talking about the music and their projects. And this was no different.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a listen to the vinyl we bought as well. Yeah, 'cause I haven't heard any before.
No, I haven't, and I think I'd quite like just taking a punt on something. And the one I'm looking forward to playing is one of the records that was retrieved from after the boat sank, which we didn't cover, did we, in the interview?
No.
But I think it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? He was, because he travels up and down the canal, and the barge sank, and he lost loads of records, thousands of pounds worth of records, but he retrieved some.
Yes, yeah.
And I've
you got it in the back. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, because this might turn into a bit of a collector's item.
This is Neo 2 Smoking Blues on the Black Jazz label. Yeah, record was saved from the sunken boat on the accident.
Yeah, wow.
20th of April,
Right.
2023.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
It even got some authentic water damage there, by the looks of it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You must hope it's completely unplayable. But no, you don't.
That looks in incredible condition for
It's
something that's been in
astonishing.
a canal.
That's astonishing, I know.
Yeah.
It's got. I think I can smell the
Smell a
Rochdale Canal on it, or Leeds Liverpool Canal, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
Was in.
Do you want to get the one I picked? Well, I bought a few, but one caught my attention in his rare records section.
This one.
It's absolutely
amazing. I
cover.
like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. It comes on coloured vinyl, and it sounded brilliant.
Can I
Go
take
for it.
just so you can see? It's on Synchron. Oh my word! And it's heavy.
Yeah.
And for those of you who like your electronics and your circuit boards.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd love to go back there at some point, and we'll try and get some of the other guys from our vinyl club along to that.
Yeah, they'll love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I just want to say, I appreciate Miles letting us on
Yeah, thank you,
the
Miles.
boat as well, and putting the fire on for us.
Yeah, with the fire on as well. Yeah.
And it's really nice to see him.
Yeah. Thanks, Miles, and get yourself down to Rubber Ducky Records.
Indeed. Float down.
Bye for now.